Hello geometry students, this is Mrs. Bigelow. We are in chapter 6, section 5, goal 1. We are talking about trapezoids. So open your books to page 356 and be ready to learn geometry. Yay! Alright, so trapezoid. Trapezoid is a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel sides. We call those sides bases. Trapezoid has two pair of base angles. The non-parallel sides are the legs of the trapezoid. An isosceles trapezoid is a trapezoid where the legs are congruent. So this is what we are talking about. See if I can get a white pen here. I know that red didn't show up very well. Alright, so by definition, a trapezoid has one pair of parallel sides. These sides are called the bases. The non-parallel sides are called the legs. These angles are called the base angles. We call a trapezoid that has the legs that are congruent we're talking AD congruent to BC. This is what we call an isosceles trapezoid. Sometimes you will hear me call it an I-trap. Again, this is an isosceles trapezoid. Trapezoids don't always have to be isosceles. Something like this, it's by definition a trapezoid. But we definitely know that these two legs are not congruent. So this is an isosceles. This is just a regular, we just refer to it as a trapezoid. Alright, I'm going to kind of work through this a little bit quick. Trapezoid is isosceles, that each pair of base angles is congruent. So we are talking about a special kind of trapezoid here. And that is that these legs are congruent. So, because this is an isosceles triangle, trapezoid the angles D and C are congruent, and angles A and B are congruent. Alright, the next theorem is just basically a converse of that. It already says that the base angles are congruent. So it says if angle A is congruent to angle B and angle C is congruent to angle D, then ABCD is an I-trap. Alright, third theorem says a trapezoid is isosceles if and only if its diagonals are congruent. So ABCD is an I-trap if line segment AB is congruent to line segment CD. Alright, so a midsegment. Midsegment of a trapezoid is a line that connects the mid points of its legs. So, EF, line segment is a midsegment. And it will, because it connects the midpoints, we know AE is congruent to DE and BF is congruent to CF. Alright, so I'm going to give you two examples. We have an isosceles trapezoid, PQRS, and we know angle P is 50 degrees. How do I find the measure of the other angles? We know because this is an isosceles that angles P is congruent to angle Q. That is from the third theorem. So this theorem right here, this angle is 50 degrees. We also know that angles S and R are congruent. We know that these four angles add up to 360. So we do our magic algebra. We get 2x equals 260, x equals 130. So we know both of these angles, measure of angle S and measure of angle R, are 130. Right? One more example. Hopefully I won't run out of time here. Midsegment theorem of a trapezoid says that the midsegment is parallel to both bases. We have ABCD, EF, line segment, is parallel to both the other bases. And its length, the length of EF is 1/2 the length of the two added together. So let's say that this line segment DC was 20 inches and AB was 8. Then we would know that EF was half of 8 plus 20, which is 1/2 of 28, which is 14 inches. Alright? So, again, you'll be able to ask questions in class tomorrow when we do the homework. Let's see here. There is the homework right there. If for some reason you're not going to be in class or something, I'm just giving it to you ahead of time. Otherwise, you'll have tomorrow in class to do it, and also a chance to ask questions. So I will see you then. Bye-bye.